that said, like I said, this is a podcast that I want to dedicate this to you, since you're doing a wonderful job with the YouTube channel that you created. So, talk about this channel and this mindset that you're doing with this investment.
Okay. Well, thanks, Big Mike, for having me on the show once again. And it's been a little while since we talked about, doing a podcast. I started up a YouTube channel called Basic Investor. You can catch me on Twitch and Twitter at One Basic Investor. So I started out the YouTube channel talking about investing just as a way to kind of vlog my way through the investment scene, meaning stocks and crypto. And it actually came from an idea that I talked about with Mike. Mike was investing a little bit in New York. I think it was Bitcoin. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It was one of the cryptocurrencies that he had said like late last year that he was investigating and he had some money in, right? So I said, wow, if Mike is investing, that's got to be my way of saying it's about time for me to invest. I waited until January 1st of this year to start my investing journey due to taxes. And of course, each year when you make money on the crypto or stock market, you have to report that as taxes. So the government can get a piece of that, whatever profit you incurred during your investment year. So I waited till the first of the year to do that, and that way last year's taxes wouldn't be affected by anything I made on the crypto or stock scene. And then it's also a way to kind of start fresh. First of the year, I did some saving last year, and now I'm able to actually put those savings and have that money make some money for me. So that's kind of how I got started, and I want to kind of vlog that out each week, drop a couple of videos showing you guys that journey, new information that I found, new terminology in the stock market world that I didn't know about previous. I can be able to share out on the YouTube channel, so you guys can follow that. Of course, the Basic Investor on YouTube.
Right. Now, my big question with that, because we're seeing a lot of people going into investments and going into the stocks, and a lot of people always talking about the importance of building money for the future end, as far as successful financial wealth and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we see that's the long run.
Mm-hmm.
But for people that are our age, and even the youngsters, the young adults, that we could tell them this, but at the same time, it's like we could tell them the importance for the long run.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it that they don't really think about the long run and think more of the short end of I need to just get money?
Mm-hmm. I feel it's like this, that people are not understanding that the investment scene is similar to your regular scene of trying to invest, or trying to hustle, I would say. It's the same thing. So I feel it's easier especially for people that grew up in urban environments, to see hustling is either playing sports or going into selling a product that may or may not get you arrested, right? And as we get older and we see different things, we start to realize that hustling can be in all forms. Like the same concept of hustling can be manifested in different ways, and including the stock market. So if I get a some type of substance and I want to break it down, I purchase that substance in bulk, and I want to break it down and sell it. And by breaking it down into fourths, eighths, whatever, I can be able to make more money once the product sells out. And then I'll use half of that to get more, half of that funds my lifestyle. It's the same thing that goes for investing. I am putting either money into stocks that I know or have a good chance of 5xing, 2xing, 10xing, in 2, 3 years, 4 years. Or the hot scene right now is crypto and NFTs, but I'm not really into NFTs yet. But crypto, hot market, it's been around for about 10 years, 10 plus years. And I'm putting money in early to something that's valued, either less than a penny. Some are valued at $1. Some are valued, the Bitcoin is at $38,000. Within long-term growth of that making me 2, 3 times the money on like a Bitcoin. Or for ETH, which is Ethereum, 5, 10x. For coins like Solana, which is more of like a DeFi exchange or a DeFi platform, it was pennies on a dollar last January. Right around this time, it started to climb up $2 or $3. Now, Solana, to get a Sol token, it's $80. So think about it. If you put like money in, let's say you put $1,000, your tax return, a couple thousand, right? You do your investigating, you do your research. Everyone should do their research. Same as how a hustler would do their research on where to buy. The plug, right? Which plug are you going to get? Same as how you do you do some research on that. You just want to buy from anyone. It might be a cop. You don't want to do that. It's the same thing. You don't want to be scammed in the investment scene. So you make sure to do a research of where you're going to place your money in hopes of it doing 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x, like Solana did. I missed that because remember, I started investing January 1st of 2022. The people that started investing January 1st of 2021 saw this Solana ecosystem, pennies on a dollar. And then they saw over the course of 9 months, it went from pennies on a dollar to now it's worth $81, $82. So now you're seeing that if you bought it for less than a penny, and in 9 months, it doesn't happen like that for all cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of scams out there. Same as how there's a lot of weak, illegal, substances you can use or purchase, and it may not work out for you. It's the same thing for investing. There's a lot of scum cryptocurrencies, a lot of DeFi exchanges that are not going to go anywhere. But you do your research and you put your money, instead of in a savings account, you're putting into a high yield ETF or one of the blue chip 100 companies like Tesla, like Apple, that are going to make money, and you get a dividend each month. They do a earnings call. You get dividends. The more you put into the company, the stock, the more dividends you get back. So your money's now making money for you, instead of it just being in a savings account or being under your mattress, not accumulating anything, because the money is going to be penalized because of inflation. Inflation happens every year. That means the value of a dollar that was in 1990 is not the same as the same dollar that is now here in 2022. So you have to find ways to have your money make money, because if you keep it at a stagnant dollar, even though it's worth $1, the things that the dollar can purchase goes down each year. The only way you can fight that is by investing.
Now, you mentioned something about investing, doing the stocks, doing the cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin, similar to like side hustles, jobs, and everything.
Yep.
Now, the thing that it kind of blows my mind is you gave a real good explanation on that. For someone to have that thinking,
the mindset, because we all have the mindset of hustling. Yeah. It's just switching what you're hustling.
But the crazy part is, why why you feel like a lot of people might not have that mindset to go into investing, saying, "Nah, they ain't for me," or "I don't see myself doing that, so I don't think so heavy,"
Mhm.
or trying to be into those, X's and Y's and all the big words and everything that we see a lot of people saying today when it comes to stock.
Okay, I can break that down right now because this is what I faced 3 months ago when I wasn't in the stocks and crypto and investing scene. People tend to stay away or fare away from the unknown. And I feel like investing, they view it as a rich man's game, right? When the majority of investors aren't filthy wealthy, you know, they're middle income bracket persons like myself, where we're trying to put a little bit of money in, do a little bit of research, and figure out a way to 1x, 2x, 3x that money. And I feel the common person, the blue collar worker, they're going to go around things they know. And investing in stocks and crypto is something that they just don't know unless you put in the research, unless you see someone doing it. I'll give a good example. January 1st, remember, the Basic Investor. That's why I named the channel. That's why the brand is called The Basic Investor, because there's nothing complicated about what I'm doing. It's bare bottom basic stuff that you can find from Google, that you can find from watching basic YouTube channels, that because there's thousands of investment channels you could just digest the information from. So I was the same way until I had a friend who I went to college with, not gonna say her name, but shout out to you, that had Bitcoin. I never asked her when she got the Bitcoin. I was just shocked that someone who I'm cool with, that I was close with, that I went to college with, had multiple Bitcoins. She never puts it out there that she has them, right? So that's why I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute. She only chimed in when I made my first investment video, January 1st. She said, oh yeah, I have some Bitcoin. I have some ETH. And it was a third one that I listed. And I was shocked. Wait a minute. You have Bitcoin? You have Ethereum? She's like, yeah, I have a few of each. What? So now the naysayers that will always come to you and say, oh, you shouldn't get into stocks. You should just do your hustle like we're used to doing. Now I have someone connected to me that has multiple Bitcoins. So when you get the people that come in your ear and says, why you keep putting money into Bitcoin, you're never going to be able to own one. Because people have said that. People close to me, by the way, have said that. Ignorant people, because they don't know. They feel like it's crabs in a barrel type of mentality. They're going to speak their fears on you, right? And it's not on you to kind of cuss them out. It's you to say, okay, they're just ignorant to what I'm doing. They don't know. They haven't put the research into understanding that it's not impossible. If you put some money into Bitcoin each day, one day you'll own one. You know, you're going to do that. Let's put some money each day. Instead of dining out XYZ, nope, I'm going to put money into this because I know that Bitcoin one day is going to hit 100K. Bitcoin was pennies on a dollar 12 years ago. Pennies on a dollar. And the highest they went during Corona was $69,000 for one. But yeah, I remember in my lifetime when it was 0.3 cents. I remember that. So for the people that's telling me that if I put some money into it each day, that eventually I'm not going to own one, they're just speaking ignorance on you. And I feel a lot of people speak from the ignorant mindset. They're not going to tell you they're ignorant, but the way they're coming off is like it's not researched. So they're ignorant to that topic. They still want to speak on it, but they're ignorant to how it really goes. And then when I start breaking down the research that I put into it, the friends that I had that have Bitcoin, then they silence themselves and they move on to something else because now you just hit them with facts. I know people that own Bitcoin. I'm going to own Bitcoin one day. Simple as that. You do what you do with your money. I'm going to do what I do with my money. And we'll see who's coming out at the end. But the reason why I made the channel is so everyone can kind of see. It's free game. Everyone can see. Here's how I'm doing it. This is the plays that I'm trying to do. I'm putting a little bit of money into Bitcoin every day. Every day that I don't spend out, since I'm, work from home, I put that money into Bitcoin. That's, instead of me eating out like I would normally do, going downtown, I put that money into Bitcoin. Or the money to travel to work. I'm working from home. Okay, gas is $4 or $5 a gallon, depending on where you at. That money that I'm not spending, I put that money into Bitcoin. It's money that I would never see anyway. I'm just gonna put that money into Bitcoin because 2 or 3, 5 years from now, that money is gonna be faring more than the dollar it would have stayed in my bank account. It's gonna be worth more, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Now, you said you knew somebody that started this long time ago.
Yep.
So when we hear people want to say financial growth, stability, when do you think is the best time to actually start thinking about investment? Or is it too late, being that we're like in our 40s?
No, I feel it's not too late because long-term investing is not about the short term. It's not about this year. It's being able to build something that you can pass down. Remember, I bought a house in 2012, right? And I had naysayers saying, oh, you should rent. It's easier to rent, da-da-da-da-da. You have to deal with this. Well, now it's 2022. So that means I've been a homeowner for 10 years. I am 1/3 away done of paying that loan and becoming a full-time homeowner, I should say, right? Instead of having paying off a loan, I am 1/3 of the way there. So that was people telling me you shouldn't do that. Okay. When you're going into investing, stocks and in crypto may be a quick flip play, like a Dogecoin, meme coin, it pumps, you sell, and then you got the long-term plays like ETH and Bitcoin where you're putting money into those for the 5, for the 10, for the 15 years down the line. And I'll bring it back to an example. In 2010, Bitcoin, pennies on the dollar. The people that found out about it, that knew the hearsay was negative, because a lot of people in the government, especially here in America, they were trying to say, hey, Bitcoin is used by the Silk Road and it's used for illegal pornography and da-da-da-da-da. Well, it turns out it wasn't. Some people may use it for that, but you could use it for anything. It's a truly digital currency, right? And they got in early in 2010. Now those people are multimillionaires because they got in. There's new coins growing. The key is to be able to get in early. We're still early in the crypto scene. Yes, we're in our 40s now, right? We're still early because we're creating a foundation to be able to pass down to our kids, to be able to have within the family. Now the Anton family can be able to have a backbone because of the investments we made today. So it's never too late to be able to get into something. The dollar's been around for how many years? 100, 150, something along the lines of that. Whenever America was created. And don't quote me, I'm not quoting a certain date, but how long has the dollar been around? And it's worth $1, right? We've seen in our lifetime Bitcoin be worth pennies on the dollar to now being worth one Bitcoin being worth $38,000 at the max, $69,000 for one. The dollar stayed at $1. Now, if you go to different countries, your dollar can do more, right? I think it's 10 times what it is in Russia, and peso compared to the dollar, your dollar goes further. But what has been more valuable than the dollar? These cryptocurrencies, right? ETH is worth $3,000 now. $1 is worth $1. Now it becomes really simple. especially hustlers. Hustlers are about their money. We're doing the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same type of investing. If you're really about your money, then I'm going to buy something for pennies on a dollar that could one day be worth more than the dollar. That's keeping it macro level. And that's exactly what investments do. If we see Tesla, I'm going to switch from crypto because a lot of people are still scared on crypto being scammed over. I get it. If we switch to stocks, we see Tesla, we see Netflix stock go way up, especially during the coronavirus. A lot of people were home. Multiple people, millions of people were digesting Netflix. Netflix started buying movies that was supposed to come out in the movie theaters. Because where will people be able to see them now? At home. Exactly. So the Netflix stock went up 2 or 3x in 2 years. There's going to be people that seen that play coming. All right, people can't come. People can't travel. So the airline industry tanking. Right? Remember what I said earlier. If I didn't say it here, I'm going to say it right now. When there's blood in the streets, that's the time to invest. When there's victory bells, that's the time to pull out. Why do people say that? People pulled out when the airline industry stocks tanked, right? And the rich, the smart investors, that's when they bought the airline stock. And I'll give you an example. I followed United Airlines, right? Matter of fact, wait a minute. I can show it now. I'm going to show it here. I know we're not going to be able to hear it, and I'm going to walk you guys through it. Let me show it here. All right? So we're at the screen here. I'm going to turn off this Dex cam real quick so you guys can be able to see it. United Airlines. United Airlines. Okay, right now it says my United Airlines, it's worth $34, right? $34. All right, you guys, matter of fact, I can pull my desk cam so you guys can be able to see it, because you guys can see it here. And I'm walking you guys through exactly what it is. January 10th, or let's say January 17th, 2020, it was worth $89. $89. Corona hits. You see this stark drop. And if you guys can't see it, I'm breaking it down to you. It was $89, January 10th. February 20th, that's when Corona hit the U.S. A stark decline. It went way down. February 28th, $61. And the lowest it hit was May 15, 2020 at $19. It went from $89 earlier that year to the bottom of $19. 1992. Stark drop, right? Yeah, a stark drop. And this is one airline. All of the airlines tanked. So the rich investors, the common investors that had $19, mind you, anyone can do this. You spend $20 on food in one day. We all can afford this, by the way. Everyone can. You went from an $87 United Airlines. They're not even the most popular airline, by the way. I'm just picking the one that I have. United Airlines, $87, $89 in January of 2020. By March of 2020, or let's say May, it went to $19. People bought in. There's blood in the streets. There's Corona. No one's traveling. It tanked. So now people that's saying Corona's eventually going to go away. It's taking a lot longer. We get it. But eventually it's going to go away. It's eventually going to turn to normalcy where people are going to be traveling again. Let me buy, let's say I got $500. Let me put $500 to United Airlines and buy that stock that I would have only been able to purchase 5 stocks in January of that year when it was $89. Well, I now can purchase 10 or 15 or 20 with the same amount of money because now it's worth $19. That's investing. That's investing. That's investing. That's, you're getting from your plug, you're getting something wholesale. You're breaking it down, right? And the hustler will sell it for cheap. The investor is buying it for cheap because it's eventually going to go back up in value. And I'll say now, the one day for it, it's at 34. So it's taking time. But you see here where it was 19 and it's now at 34. The goal is when this corona thing is out the way and people are back to traveling normally, business class people are back to traveling, it eventually makes its way back up to $89, $87 for the United Airlines, for Southwest, for Delta, for Spirit, for all the other ones, Continental, whatever. For all of those airlines to get back up to that $80, $70, $80 range. But you bought it at 19. Or right now, since people are saying that, hey, I don't know if I can be able to get in, I bought it at 34. But eventually it'll be worth 89. You almost tripling your money. Do the math. Do the math. Do the math. You're purchasing if you buy today, for example, at 34, and it eventually gets back up to, let's say, $80, you've doubled your money. You're getting 2 for 1. Anyone can do that. The regular department store will say, hey, buy one, get one free. It's basically what it is in the stock market right now. So I'm gonna buy United Airlines stock, and I'm gonna put, let's say I'm gonna put $89 into it, and I'm buying 2 stocks now. 2.5 really. I'm buying 2.5 now that in January of 2020 would have got me 1 stock. Corona happened. So there's gonna be stocks that are beat down. There's gonna be stocks that are beat down right now. And those are the stocks that you buy. That's how you make money on the stock market.
Knowledge that we're hearing today and everything. But here's the thing though. You gave great points, great suggestions. You break it down that a lot of people could understand. But at the same time, it's easy to say that. It's easy to say all those things. But when people be mentally willing to be ambitious enough and strong-minded enough to put the time and effort to build a financial prosperity if they haven't started or have the idea to do it at all.
If those people feel that they can mitigate risk, I feel they would, because that's exactly what I'm doing. In investing, you have to mitigate risk, right? That's what you're trying to do. Some people are going to be risky plays, like the Dogecoin millionaire. I've started watching his stuff. He incurred a lot of risk and his story was, if you guys don't know, it was I think he did voiceovers for like Hip Hop DX, different media outlets. He saved a lot of money. So I guess it starts from saving. And if you can save money, then you have something to invest with, right? You don't invest your rent money. You don't do that. You have all your bills and stuff's paid off. Your lifestyle is you got cash for that. And then if you're still able to save 100 or 200 or 300 or 400, 5,000, you say you have some money to invest in, and then that's how you really start. So what he did is he invested $188,000 all into Dogecoin. Now that's a huge risk play. He got it when it was, I think he said 40 cents, right? And when it hit 76 cents is when he had his highest. It started booming last year. This was last year. It started booming. It hit 76 cents right before Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live. And his wallet, the Dogecoin millionaire wallet, was $2.9 million off of $188,000 investment. So the more money you put in, the more gain you can get if it X's, if it 10X's, if it 15X's, if it 20X's in price, right? But people can still make money by putting in small amounts, right? That's you're mitigating risk that way. So let's say you only have $50 to put in. I always say, put that $50 in Bitcoin. It's not going to 10, 15x, but in 5 to 10 years, it's not going to be $50 anymore. I'll tell you that. It's definitely not going to be $50 anymore. So if you put in, let's say, half your tax income, right? Or stimulus. That was a great example. I wish I was investing last year because we got 2 to 3 stimuluses, right? That we got. Stimulus package came in. We got a check that we wasn't expecting. Some people needed it for their bills, understandably. Then there was some people that still got the stimulus that could have just put all of it into investment. You know? And then now that money, especially with inflation, the dollar's not worth that money anymore. That $1,200 you got is going to go less this year because everything went up in price. Gas, food, everything. Rent. But if you put that money into the right investments, you now have way more money than $1,200. And whatever you invested in, unless you didn't invest in like a scam, and that's where you have to mitigate risk. You go with the gold plays, which is like your Tesla, which is your Amazon, which is your Disney. They're always going to go up in value. Or your cryptocurrency plays. Bitcoin last year, you want to check Bitcoin. Let me look at Bitcoin and what it was last year. Let's see what cryptocurrencies is Bitcoin. And I'll show my screen real quick. Let's do that. PDF screen. Okay. So let's see what Bitcoin was. And we're going to do 1 year. Okay. Well, Bitcoin was booming last year, of course, because last year was, the highs of what it was. But let's do 5 years. Now you're starting to see the boom here. Just 5 years, by the way, guys. Let's say you put your money in Bitcoin, and September of 2020, still in the Corona season, 1 Bitcoin was $10,000. I know that seems like a lot of money. It is. But then you started seeing it rise. September of that year, it was $10,000. By December of that year, it rose to $19,000. People, are we seeing? You almost doubled your money. You almost doubled your money in 2 months. I was able to buy in at, and I wish it was, because I would try to do everything I could to, if I can buy a Bitcoin at $10,000 right now, I would do it. $19,000 it hit by December 11th of 2020. Crazy. By January 8th of 2021, so almost a month, almost a month, guys, it hit $38,000. It's right here. December 11th, it was $19,000. You almost doubled your money again because it hit $38,000. January 8th of 2021. What? So then we're doing it again. And I'll end it on this. In January, it was $38,000. This was 2021. This was last year. By February, so literally a month later, it hit $57,000 for 1 Bitcoin. And those were near the highs. Like I said, the max high was 69,000. But you think about it. Look at the gain, Mike. Look at the gain from February 19th, 2021, right? To let's say a September 11th, 2020. So the span of 4 months, and this is how stocks work. In a span of 4 months or so, it went from $10,000 for 1 to $57,000 for the same Bitcoin. So if you put in and you was able to scrounge up money. Some people take out loans. It's risky. But some people say, I need a $10,000 loan now, and I can buy my Bitcoin. And in that 4-month span, you've made 5 times your original purchase. You pay off your loan, and now you're up $40,000. That's investing. Now you have to do the research, and it's volatile. You see the dips. There's some dips here. It went from, in April of 2021, it went from 56, and it went way back down. The low it hit was 34,000, right? But if you came in at 10,000, at 8,000, at 9,000, and the low is 34,000, you still made money. That's investing. So that's the reason why I am in the investing scene. One, because my boy Mike said he had some Bitcoin plays. 2, I said I'm going to mix it up with stocks, and I want my money to eventually make money so I can be able to pass that down. And I feel the common person wants that. The common person that has $1,000 under their mattress want the same type of things. They just don't know the ways to get it.
So here's my thing.
Yep.
So we gotta talk about our people. I want to say the urban community, blacks, Latinos, and pretty much everyone really. Everyone have their own different way of flossing of how much money they have, or what materialistic items they have, whether it's housing, cars, boats, flossing loads of money. People love to talk about that, and people love about how much their net worth is, or what type of car they drive in, and all that stuff. Everybody like to talk about that, but why of our own people, the urban community, is not talking more about this financial growth that's now becoming a thing now in 2022? Why is it that we talk about money and materialistic items, then talking about, hey, you want to flip this money to grow this money more in the investment? What's your Bitcoin? What's your cryptocurrency looking like? Instead of, look what type of car I'm driving. Do you see my money? Because you see a lot of people, especially artists, athletes, and so forth, like to floss what they got and how much money they making, but they don't talk the importance. Some rap artists are now talking about
Bitcoin,
investments, and all that stuff.
They're getting paid in Bitcoin. There's more and more that's coming. I feel, Mike, that it's coming from a place of not knowing. Like, if you're, I don't want to keep using the word ignorant, but if you don't know, then you're gonna follow status quo, right? But the more people start knowing, just the same way I explained it, I tried to explain it in the most basic sense. I tried to give some basic examples of, if you can 10x your money, would you? That's why people go to the casinos, right? That's why people get into the illegal activities we discussed earlier, is they're trying to 1x, 2x, 5x, 10x their money. If there was a way to do that, that can have more monetary gains, people would do it. It's also about financial literacy, of educating people on, this is a way that those stock market, the Wall Streets that you hear about, that can be anybody now. The tools are there. You just have to have a computer or a phone. You can invest on your phone now. There's apps for Webull and Fidelity and Robinhood and Coinbase, all on your phone now. So basically, you can be phone, Android, iPhone. You can be stock traders via this, where 20 years ago you couldn't. You had to be keyed into the game, but now you can. So I feel that the reason why people are sticking to their status quo is because that's all they know. Most people never leave their state. Period. Most people. The people you see traveling and stuff, they're outliers. The common person never leaves. I've dated people like that. They never left their state. That's all they know. So of course, if all they know is what their box entails, they're going to stick to that. They're going to stick to the hustle that they know of doing. When you start to see the world, how the world works, how the stocks work, how the breakdown I just broke down, I want to 10x my money. I'm going to go about it this way. And then if more people start learning that, they'll be able to see it. The reason why I chose YouTube's the #1 website in the world as far as traffic is concerned, as far as clicks. The #1 website, period. People are going to YouTube to watch things. Maybe investment videos, maybe gaming. YouTube streaming's a thing. Just music. It's the #1 streaming website in the world. YouTube. Crazy, right? Everyone uses it. So people can watch to laugh. A lot of people cope with stresses of daily life by laughing. They're clicking on YouTube to do that. So now that creators are starting to share their investment journey, how to invest, what to invest in, more people are starting to digest that because it's available to where everyone's congregating to. Back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, you couldn't go to the common person to pick up stocks advice. Now you could just click on a channel or click on YouTube and put in stock, and stock channels come up, or put in crypto and crypto channels come up. Now we're using it as a way to educate people on a different alternative to investing your money.
So, with your channel, what is it?
Basic Investor. Yeah.
What do you feel, what type of advice you want to give to someone who wants to invest, but they don't think it's worth the time or the effort to invest?
Okay, so what made me go into it is seeing the trends of how much money was made over the course of 2 years, right? So I saw where Bitcoin was in 2020. I saw where the different stocks were in 2020, Solana in 2021. And that made me say, I need to get in now because I may miss the next turn where something's worth less than a penny, right? And it's now worth $5 or $10 or $15. I can put in a couple dollars from each paycheck. I call it dollar cost averaging. It's not something I created. It's something I picked up off one of those stock channels. What dollar cost averaging is you putting in a little bit of money each time you get paid, or every day or every week, and eventually you end up owning something. It's a risk. It's a limited risk way to be able to get to your goal. If people had the $10,000 to put into Bitcoin in 2020, that's great. A lot of people don't have that type of cash available. But let's say those people put in $200 each time they get paid every 2 weeks. We can do that. Make a couple of sacrifices here. Pick up an extra side job here. Instead of me chilling at home and doing nothing, let me do a lift for a couple hours, and that's my investment money. Because in 5 years, I don't want to be where I'm at now. Or in 2 years, I don't want to be where I'm at now. Everyone wants to be rich. Some people want to be wealthy, for whatever dastardly reasons. But I feel that the investment scene is the scene that's going to get people to where they want to be. When the GameStop fiasco happened last year, there was people that just invested in GameStop because their kid likes video games. The short happened to where the dark pool investors were trying to make billions off of GameStop and not realizing the common person had stock in GameStop. Boom. The price was here and it went high. And then now people that only invested $50 had $785. They didn't know why. It's because shorting happens on stocks all the time on the stock market. Now those people had game-changing money, and that was for one GameStop stock. Imagine if you had 5 or 6. Now you're in the thousands. That's how the stock market works. So, people that's trying to make money, which is everybody, we live in a capitalist society. Once you do your investment, you have your phone, you pick up your app, you have your Robinhood, you have your Coinbase, you have your Webull, you have your Bitforex, whatever. And you have your investment, your couple of stocks, a couple of crypto, and you watch them every day, and eventually you'll start to make money. Long-term money. That's going to help not only you, but your family, but your kids, but your grandkids. And that's why I feel that people should get into doing just basic investing of a $50 here, a $50 there. It can go a long way in the future.
That kind of get to my next question. A lot of people talk about financial stability, and a lot of people feel like if they work at this high-end job, making this tons and tons of money, that's all they know. And others doing that, but also investing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. A lot of people have many different ideas, visions, and goals about how to bring their financial growth, their financial stability, their financial settling to a peak. If you want to share your idea and your vision, what will be your vision, your goal for doing not just the channel, but the whole idea of the stock and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin?
Okay, I'll share that real quick, and I'll send everyone on their way. I know you won't be able to see this, Mike, but the people watching the video can see it, and I'll break it down. Okay, as far as stocks, let me hide the camera real quick. As far as stocks, I have some Tesla. You see I have 1.81 shares of Tesla. I feel Tesla, right now, Tesla is worth $800 a share. I feel that Tesla is going to be worth $1,900, $2,000 in the next 2 years. So if I got in at 800, I've doubled my profit if it hits $2,000 a share. And I'm almost able to get, I'm almost at 2 shares right now. And that's just on 3 months of investing. So you see how I'm doing that. I'm bullish in on Tesla. Elon doesn't fail. We're seeing that. A lot of people don't like him. And I envision it. He's basically, without superpower, he's basically the real version of Tony Stark. He's a filthy billionaire that has tech, SpaceX. He's going to Mars. His rockets are now successful. They weren't when he started. It was success and fail. Now his rockets are successful with SpaceX. He's got Starlink. They're using Starlink in Ukraine to give them internet, by the way. It's real life. He's basically Tony Stark. And you didn't see Tony Stark fail. Elon's not failing. Tesla's going to be far more valuable than $800 a share. So I'm in Tesla. I feel Tesla's going to be where Google is now, which Google is worth, $3,000 a share? I remember in my lifetime, Yahoo was the #1 browser people used. No one talks about Yahoo now. It's Google. And I remember when Yahoo was the #1 browser. Period. It's now Google. I feel Tesla's going to do that for the tech industry. Simple as that. I feel Tesla, if just throw $50 each paycheck into Tesla, you'll be not a millionaire, but you're going to be far more wealthier than you are right now. It's no brainer. There's no way it stays at $800 a share. That's pennies on the dollar for what he's doing. So I almost have 2 shares of Tesla. Apple, I got in at 2 shares and I just stay there. I'm an Android owner, by the way, and I still have Apple. That tells you that they have their consumers locked in. I don't like it, but as a shareholder, I love it. I'll put it like that. They come out with a new upgrade each year, and people spend thousands for it. So Apple is a great investment as far as stock holding on it. So I have 2 shares, and I'm cooling on that. Amazon, you know Jeff Bezos, the man lost 40% of his fortune due to a divorce, and he's still one of the top. He's still one of the top richest men in the world. Still. And Mackenzie Bezos took 40% of what he was worth. That's how much money he has. So Amazon is, I think, $3,000 a share. I have half a stock. And by the end of the year, I want to own 1 stock of Amazon. And I think that's going to boom 2-3x down in the future, right? I also have things called ETFs, which are exchange traded funds. I have 3 of those. What exchange traded funds, I have a video on my page. Shout out to the YouTube page. You guys can follow The Basic Investor. I break down exactly what an ETF is and what I have 3 of those. So what ETFs are, exchange traded funds, and what those are, it's a grouping of like 50 stocks. So people go into those to mitigate risk on stocks are volatile. But if you buy a stock that has 50 stocks attached to it, there's less risk and there's less volatility in the market. So I have a couple of those. So you see that VOO is one of them, QQQ is one of them. This is the S&P 500. I have United Airlines, Rolls-Royce, super cheap stock. I don't know why it was like $1 or $2. Yet Rolls-Royce has been around for decades. I don't know why it's cheap. I said, let me buy 20 shares of Rolls-Royce. I've always heard them in my lifetime. I don't know why it's $1 a stock. Whatever, I'm going to buy 20 shares. And I did it like that. Virgin Orbit, and like I said, getting into space, that's going to be the next frontier. I bought 10 shares of Virgin Orbit. I feel all the space companies are going to boom eventually. That's a long-term 5, 10, 15-year play. I bought 10 stocks of that while it's super cheap. Of course, these, are ETFs, VTIP and ABBV. SoFi, I'm hearing a lot of SoFi. They got they got their name brand on the LA stadium. It's now SoFi Stadium. So I bought 2 shares of SoFi, and I'm just going to let it ride. Ford Motor Company. I heard a lot of my stock players, they talk about Ford Motor Company going to electric cars. Gas is $4 a gallon here on the East Coast. It's like $8, $9 a gallon on the West Coast. A lot of people are going to be wanting to get into electric cars now. So I got 5.5 shares of Ford to make sure that, hey, if it goes up 10x, 5x, I now made 10x my money. So I have a couple of dollars into Ford. And then the last one that I have as far as stocks is Google. Right now I am 0.08. But eventually I want by July 15th to own 1 full share of Google before they split into 20 different ways. That's going to boom a lot of people money-wise. They're going to make a lot of money off of that 20-for-1 stock split, and I want to be there for that. I was not even invested in Google in January. So I've only been invested for about a month and a half. But you see, I'm already bulling in. Every Wednesday, I put in $100 into Google, and eventually I will have the $3,000 needed to own a Google stock. Yeah. So that's my stock plays. I'm going to get out of here real quick. I have some, and I'll put the camera back on here. I have some speculative plays. This is the Omni token. I made a video on my YouTube channel about this. Remember, I'm transparent. Right after this video, I'm going to buy more Omni tokens. Right now, the Omni token I bought in at 0045. For some reason, it dropped down to 0035. Remember, that is less than a penny. So remember when I was saying in 2010, Bitcoin was less than a penny, ETH was less than a penny at some point in time. Hell, Dogecoin was less than a penny at some point in time. And I missed all of those pumps, all of them. Well, the Omni token is a token that I talk about. I give the research that I did on it, what it is, what it's backing. And right now, it's less than a penny. Remember, guys, we're older. You said we're in our 40s, right, Mike? Okay. I remember back in the day, you can go to the ice cream truck and you can get penny candies. I don't know if you remember those, where you can give them 5 cents and they'll give you 5 candies, right? Little like Tootsie Roll type little candies. Anyway, they may still have those, but the money went so far. As a kid, your mom gave you 50 cents to spend at the ice cream truck, and you can buy things with 50 cents. This is less than a penny. So I'm looking at it as I'm back at the ice cream truck. What can I buy in life that's less than a penny? Less. It's less than half a penny right now. It's not much. Well, you can buy this token for less than a penny. So the more of this token I have, if it hits a penny, I'm now in the thousands, right? If it hits $1 and I have 1 million of the token, I'm now a millionaire, right? So the same way the Dogecoin millionaire, and this is breaking it down because this happened literally last year. Do I think he should have cashed out? Yes. He held Diamond Hands Pro. I wouldn't have done that because I know it's a pump and dump, but it pumped. And that's the thing. Coins pump. Not all of them will. 99% of them won't. But there are certain coins that pump. Bitcoin pumped. ETH pumped. Dogecoin, of all coins, pumped. It did. It pumped. It was less than a penny at one point in time. It went up to 76 cents, being the value that it's worth. And those people that got in for less than a penny, those people that got in at 1 penny, hell, those people that got in at 40 cents, all became millionaires. All of them. If they put in the right amount, and you can do the math. The Dogecoin millionaire did the math. He had well over 1 million Dogecoins. So when it hit a certain point, this is the money he makes. He said, if it hit 50 cents, I'm going to have 1 million. If it hits 60 cents, I'm going to have 1.5 or 2 million. If it hits 75 cents, I'm going to have 2.9 or 3 million. And it did. We're saying, okay, if I have 1 million Omni tokens, which I'm going to do, 1 million Omni tokens is going to cost me around $4,000. I'm risking, because this thing could go to zero. I'm risking, but if I put $4,200 into it, I'll have 1 million Omni tokens. If it hits a penny, you do the math. That's how much money I'm going to have. If it hits $1, I'm a millionaire off of putting in 4,000. Hell yeah, I'm going to take that. Do you know how much money $1 million is? And then I can use that to do my real estate things that I'm trying to do. Well, that's the type of play. It happened to the Dogecoin users. It happened to the Bitcoin users. It happened to the ETH users. So you find things that are worth less now that actually aren't scam. A lot of things are. This could be, but if you look into different plays that are not scam and you put your money in, or if you see it tanking, you take your money out, you mitigate your risk, and then be able to eventually have the financial freedom that we all want. We all don't want to work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We only have 2 days off, then we got to go back to the grind again. No one wants that forever. This is the way to be able to set yourself up that you can retire and actually live life the way you want to.
Do you feel like you got any questions you want to ask me?
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to ask you too, is how are your plays? Remember, I got into this because of you. You mentioned that you started to dibble dabble. Like I said, I think it was Bitcoin, but what are your plays? Did you stop there? What's your thought on investing, stocks, crypto?
My thoughts for me is I wanted to go into something where I have something to grow on the side where I guess you could say I want to make money in my sleep.
Okay. Yeah, you could definitely do that.
And because, like you said, we all work, 9 to 5 job 5 days a week, but at some point we feel like we need to do something. We need to find something better to enhance our financial wealth. Because not everybody is going to say they're going to find a job that's going to be 50,000 or 100,000 or whatever be the case. So if I'm investing in something that could help me grow my money while I'm doing my main job and everything, that's helping me to bring my financial prosperity into a higher level. You know, putting things on the side where I could create something so brand new to me that it never crossed my mind years ago. But now, since I'm getting older and I need to start thinking more of ways to not just make money but flip my money without keep on doing the routine over and over and over. And I think that's something that, you know, that's been such in our head that we're so used to it, but we never really think too much of investment. And that's something that I want to do to make a change. It's like, let me invest something so I could build money on the side to have. Instead of just always being on the grind like a lot of folks that I see every day, because that's all they think about and that's all they know. They just be on the grind. I want to be on the grind too, but I want to think smarter with my money, not harder with my money. I don't want to just be grinding, doing, you know, any type of work or any type of BS just because this person got this amount of money or continuing going to job apps. So that's where I started the idea of investing and going to stock, because I want something, not just something better for my future, but to get me out of that mindset thinking making money is all about working a job, or making money is all about making that hustle. And so that what got me into the whole idea of mindset of investing and going into the stock.
Yep. So what you were saying, man, is, you know, exactly what I'm trying to do. And I see that you're trying to be on the same way. So do you have anything in your portfolio?
Not as of yet,
Okay.
because I'm still learning. Because being that I'm so new to this game, I want to know everything. I won't say to the ins and outs. Pretty much, it's just like anything we go into. I don't know too much about stocks. I don't know too much
It's
about
a dangerous job.
CDs,
I might die whenever I
ROAs,
but I dig anyway.
cryptocurrencies, all that stuff.
Clothes dirty from the
So
set.
I want to like
Skin
learn from the
filthy from the
basics, so I know
that gym.
what am I really getting myself into with my money.
Picking hand.
It's the same way how I was with the podcast. It was the same way with the streaming channel. I ain't know nothing about any of this, and I took the time to understand how to create and promote a channel and even broadcast a channel when I didn't even know what to do. I'm like looking at people watching YouTube videos of people showcasing their video games, and I didn't know how they do it. Now, since I have that mindset, idea how to do that, I might as well take that same idea and mindset into building investments. So I'm still learning about building a financial prosperity for myself, just learning a lot of the basics and figure out what is the right move for me so I don't get caught up in a lot of bad investments. But just seeing you put in a lot of the work and effort into showing, your knowledge and your ideas of how to get this thing rocking and moving. That really motivated me to be like, go in and do my research and do my studies and be wise about everything about the stock market. And again, the whole purpose of this podcast is just letting it be known that a lot of us people, color folks, urban people, we don't really think about this mindset. And I'm not saying that it's not sad, that it's sad. It's just if we had this mindset even in our teen years or even our young adult years, I feel like we could be in like really, really banking where we at now and close to our 40s if we had this mindset early in our years.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. So to sum up the podcast, it's never too late to start investing. Do your research. Use Google. Like, you don't have to read books and stuff like that to be able to pick up investment advice. YouTube is fluid, and meaning the information is coming every day. So do your research. Don't be afraid to put a $50, a $25 into something, and be able to start really accumulating accumulating some long-term wealth for not only you, but things you can kind of pass down to your kids. And that's what the investments are doing here. You can do it with stocks. You can do it with crypto. You can also invest into things that you use, like things that you use every day. Places you go every day. Walmart's a good investment. Dollar Tree. All of those things, you can put a little bit of money into things that you use every day. You use it. Apple, So that's what I would do, is put a little bit of money in. You get a little bit of money, each quarter because once you become a stock owner, you're a part of those calls, and you can be able to see that you start creating wealth. There's a difference from being rich and wealthy. Look it up, right? And the goal is to be wealthy and be able to pass on that information and stock and crypto down to the kids, down to your loved ones, your sister, your brother, whoever, just to be able to have it. And that's the way we can get out of the cycle of being 9 to 5 with only 2 days off. When you're wealthy, you control when you work and when you play. And it's the way to do it. So it's best to do it now, because you don't want to be kicking yourself when we're in our 50s. You get into it now to be able to teach your kids now, while they're in their teens, to say, when you're in 20s, we got you already set up. You got a Bitcoin in your name. You're good to go. And that's the type of things we're trying to put into fruition. And the YouTube channel, once again, The Basic Investor, is showing you the whole journey, the ups and downs. This incident happened in Russia and Ukraine. Money went down. Now I got to figure out different ways to be able to say, okay, let me get back into the game here and be able to make some money when there's blood in the street. So that's the way to do it. Once again, shout out to my man Mike, for getting me into investing. And then now, here's the way to be able to kick it up into the next overdrive. It's 3 months in, it's looking good. I got money in the savings accounts. We got a little bit of money in the stocks, a little bit of money in the crypto. Just made a crypto play while while making this video. So we bought some more Omni tokens. So while it was, I think you guys saw it was 0035. And so we said, hey, that's the lowest I've seen it. Let me go ahead and buy some, a little bit of more. And then, make a way there too. So thank you guys for tuning in. You can catch me each week on The Basic Investor. Yeah. And that's all I got, man.
All right. Yeah. And, like I said, the idea of financial prosperity is finding ways to grow your money where it's more important to have something more for the future than what you're trying to floss and what you have now. I'd rather see our people, have conversations and meetings and, everyday talk about how can we grow money instead of getting money and just flossing it. Like, this is, yeah, we flossing this, but will this be the end?
On the beat.
And that's where the whole idea of financial prosperity really comes through. finding ways to grow your money and build your money for a better future instead of just living today and what you can make out of today. Because we have so many people that think $100 is everything to them, but when you see people who make money, $100 ain't shit.
Yeah.
$1 might mean something to somebody who only could come up with $1 or $10 or so. But what can they do with $5 or $10 if they never seen that kind of money? That's the type of education and wisdom that we need to bring to our normal, everyday people who only do hustles, side jobs, apps, regular 9-to-5 jobs, who never think about growing their money to a large amount than just making money of their everyday hustle. So at the end of the day, it's not so much of having a backup plan or, you know, doing illegal stuff to ensure that you have money. It's all about planning for the unknown future. And if the unknown future is building your financial stability, bringing prosperity to one life, anybody and everybody can do it. Not just some, everybody. There's money out here for everybody, and there's food out here for everybody. It's all about, are you willing to take that chance and make it work and happen for you? So, once again, I want to give a big shout out, a thank you to my best friend DC, Soulless Record Dollar. You can check his page out on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook.
Yep. The Basic Investor, YouTube.
Basic Investor.
One Basic Investor on Twitch. I mean, not on Twitch, but Twitter. You guys can follow me there for, you know, you guys are seeing what I'm doing with the investments in stocks and crypto. And yeah, and never be too scared to invest. It's the perfect time to do so now, especially when stocks are beat down. It's a red market. You want to be able to get in now when there's blood in the street. And your dollar can go further as long as you mitigate your risk. Yeah, and here's to everyone winning, you know, and pushing forward. Thanks for having me, man.
No problem. I just feel like we just gave real street talk for some investment.
Yep.
That's
Exactly what we did, man. Yep.
So, with all that said, this is Mike with Dark Knight Truth Talk,
Always.
and I will see y'all in the next episode.
Take care.
See you when I see you.